around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. Put my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. Put my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, glowing up, but we still trapped. That's how a nigga survives. Flowing out, got the crowd packed. Yeah, that's how a nigga provides. Y'all insta this, y'all snap that, y'all diss this, and they snap back. Another mass shooting in the headlines. I'm like, damn, where that attack at? Cause y'all think this about race. They font that shit in your face. It's like every day it's the same agenda. It's really not that hard to trace. Fuck it, we might as well face it. Accept it, whatever it's wrapped in. There'll come a day when they run out of grace. So me and my niggas stay trapping. Yeah, ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. Put my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Hey, someone be too who I wanted to be and then what I became. Ended up going my own way, but I couldn't stay in my lane. Now if I'm honest, I've taken a liking to wearing these chains. They hold me down, make it easier when I start feeling the pain. Out of the overflow, your heart, they say your mouth speaks. Well, my heart must be fucked up, cause I can't speak and I can't sleep. So I stay woke in this daydream. Got shit to do, got the world to see. Got the same crew, got some new fleets. This an empire, fucking boutique, that's real. I only say what I feel, got a new plate with the same meal. On a new hype with the same chill. Y'all too fake, I stay real. Got cast down from heaven, but I'm too good to stay in hell. I don't know where the story ends, but I keep writing like oh well, oh well. Yeah, I keep writing like oh well, oh well. Yeah, hey, I don't know where the story ends, but I keep writing like oh well, oh well. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. Put my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah, we ride around this ghost. If we show up, then we still have it. Yeah, we slide around this coast. Yeah, we glowing up, but we still trapped, sitting high up on the stone. Put my foes out, got the world clapping. Yeah, we vibing up in this show. So your main girl in the private section. Yeah. You already know this is about to be stupid. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, this a new range, new page. Got me in a new country, new stage. I ain't signed no deal, I'm too paid. I do not have chill, I'm too crazy. I do not take L's, I'm too Brady. I might be frosted, I'm not flaky. Don't know what it cost me, it's all gravy. Turn on that faucet and just pay me. Whoa, we gon' get it, bring it back. Maybe Donald is a Mac. Couple bottles, empty glass. New machine, I'm sending facts. Bump the headline, check the facts. I'm not a gangster, but I'm a gorilla. Hop on the drums when I'm feeling J Dilla. Come get your lady, cause I'm a just stiller. How about the range, whoa? Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange, whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa, there's no comparison. Black in America, a little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't mention it, that's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send him my sentiments. Neck full of sediments, caught me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Dropped an investment in Silicon Valley. All of this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they break in the chassis. King of the grass like a Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors that labels as testing. How about the range, whoa? Hey, yeah, I'm feeling strange, whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. I took a sip, I'm not acting my age. I took a trip, now they got me on stage. How about the range? How about the range? Whoa. How about the range? I'm feeling strange. I might be crazy. None of your phase me. How about the range? Whoa. Yeah, I'm feeling strange. Whoa. Man. let's get it. Yeah. Yeah. Ay, all of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on they chin. Like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green. I'm dropping slappers to hell with an album. Might fuck around and go see Jimmy Fallon. I multiply while you bury your talents. Cause I'm like a hawk when I bury my talents. Guess what I'm saying? I pray on these niggas. There was a day when I'd pray for these niggas. Now I got nothing to say to these niggas. I pray that God does away with these niggas. I keep my friends close, but my enemies closer. My mental is gross with my verses.
He's heating up!
Girls going wild, but I'm not a poacher, so I just keep shining like Elon, I'm solar. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on they chin. Like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green. Gotta make this money, only game I know. I'm the only king, this ain't no Game of Thrones. Everybody wanna be a fucking king until it's time to do what a king does. Everywhere I look, it's just kids and drugs. Everywhere I look, it's just gangs and thugs. Can't tame the guns, can't save our loved ones. I grew my funds and I called the plug. Then I filled my lungs, I don't mess with that new shit. Y'all talking tough, but ain't none of y'all do shit. Y'all chasing money, you want the exposure. Y'all think y'all funny and snake Gucci loafers. I don't give disclaimers, I rap full disclosure. These niggas all think they were born in October. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have stacks on plus stacks when I'm older. Stacks when I'm older. Yeah, stacks when I'm older. The only thing different between you and I is that I also have millions in cash when I'm older. All of y'all talking, but I just went. Papa Swole, put nuts on they chin. Like Everson K2 get mounds of cash. Looked in the crowd, saw my name on the ass. You made them bands, now your money is spent. I stash away about 40%. Empire with honey like I'm Gary V. My bennies are blue, but the product is green.
He's heating up!
Mr. Strickland!
She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay private, but I got them groupies. Own me in private, but don't get all choosy. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies. She call me Captain, but I got no cap. I make this money, it comes out on tap. Tryna stay humble, but I get real moody. Try not to stumble, but she a real cutie. Bust out the bubble and in with the new me. FTLOG on the top with the blue jeans. Y'all got the diamonds and I got the rubies. I got the rubies, I got the rubies.
Swole enormous.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 3296 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pincast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in Zach Realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beeshes, booshes, bustas, hustles, and yo hoes? It's your boy Papa Swole back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you bees. Fam, welcome to the show, 3296. Thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Share the show with your friends. Hashtag never skip leg day in the comments down below for a chance to win today's Swole card. We'll give that away on Rumble at the end of today's episode. Thanks for being here. Let's see. We got Michelle, Dr. Delta, Alex in the chat. How we doing, Daniel? Let's get into today's episode. Hashtag never skip leg day. Never skip leg day. And of course, if you are interested in joining the Swole fam, now's the time. head on over to swolenormousx.com to get access to all the programs, yoga, meditation, all the master classes, everything you need to make those sick fucking gains inside the Swole fam with the all-new Swolenormous app. swolenormousx.com. Now let's get into that tip. Just an inch. It's cold outside.
What's in the box?
All right, first one today is from Daniel. Daniel says, "What up, fam? For the first time since 2017, I've been away from the fam for a little while due to financial reasons, but I'm finally back and here to stay. I never stopped training in my time away, but this community is definitely a great asset. Feels great to be back. Hashtag Swole fam for life."
Hi, puppy.
Welcome back, Daniel. Welcome back. We're going to get into a couple other comments on some of the awesome content that we have in the app. Jen commented on Swolga Foundation from the 90-Day Dash and says, "Don't sleep on this one, fam. I absolutely loved the 90-Day Dash, and I find myself going back to Swolga Foundation often. It's a nice stretch, and if you're anything like me, a few back cracks here and there will feel great. This was just what I needed to unwind from another busy Monday." Love to hear it, and make sure you keep on commenting on the classes and the programming that you like in the app. We love to share them. Jeremy commenting on Calves Masterclass and says, "Papa Swolio, thank you so much for this. I had been doing my calves wrong. Thank you for taking the time to help us do this right and not hurt ourselves." And you're very, very welcome. Thanks for watching. John commented on the T-Bar Row Masterclass. Again, the Masterclass section inside the app is very popular, so make sure you go and check that out. We have a lot of mobility Masterclasses. Of course, the famous ankle mobility Masterclass, the knee mobility Masterclass, the hip mobility Masterclass. Of course, we also have programs like the glute awareness program and the shoulder awareness program for that prehab and corrective exercise approach. John says on the T-Bar Row Masterclass, "As always, I appreciate you. I'll substitute this for bent over barbell rows. I'll definitely flare my elbows out to engage my upper back. Thanks to shoulder awareness and yoga, my pull exercises no longer feel awkward. Years of pressing once limited my shoulder mobility. It's really nice to feel that scapular retraction on certain concentric movements. I've learned and developed so much here throughout the years. You're the best." Why, thank you. Glad to hear it. Excellent. Love to hear it. And one more, and then we'll take some questions. Kimberly commented on the masterclass, "Best time to eat carbs." And she says, "Very informative. I work out at 5:30 in the evening, and I used to wait 45 minutes before I consumed anything after, trying to burn calories. So I will change it to, I guess, carbs at lunch mainly, and then maybe smaller amount at dinner after my workout, ? Minimum carbs in the morning, ? Is that correct? And generally, I think it's better to have carbs earlier in the day. I think you're better off having carbs earlier in the day. This really depends on when you're training. But I think in general, if you're doing something like intermittent fasting, I think it's just better in general to taper off in the evening. You don't want to be eating a massive meal and then going right to bed. You want to digest. And I think you're much better off focusing on protein and also getting some other carbs and fruit earlier in the day, and then maybe leading up into your workout. And then you don't need to be pounding large meals and tons of carbohydrates later in the evening, which I would avoid eating heavily in the evening anyway. So you have to figure it out, experiment, see what works best for you. Focus on protein, of course, and then I would front load your day more with larger meals and carbohydrates, especially before your training. So if you work out at 5:30, then maybe your lunchtime and earlier will be more of your larger carbohydrate meals before you train. That way you can front load your day a little bit more. So anyone else has any other thoughts and suggestions, you could drop in the comments down below. All right, let's get into some questions. Drop in the comments down below if you have any questions. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio, and let's get into some of your questions and comments. Let's see. Alex on YouTube says, "I tried micropore tape last night. It wasn't comfortable, but I wasn't dragging ass near as badly this morning." And you just have to get used to it. If you're not used to using mouth tape, then it's just something you're gonna have to get used to. But you'll sleep better. You won't have any like dry mouth or sore throat. Your facial muscles will also improve. But breathing through your nose is very, very important. So I would just keep on doing it and you'll learn to adapt, and you'll get more used to it. It's just something that you're not used to. So it's not going to be comfortable at first, but it's just because you're not used to having tape on your mouth. Let's see. Sheena says, I've been killing leg days so much, I shocked my kids by being able to do squats with with my 160 pound son on my back. Good stuff. Good stuff. Positive Charisma says, the master classes are literally my favorite part of Swolenormous X. Well, I thank you for that. Yeah, make sure you go and check that out. Check out the whole section. And remember, if you have a certain topic in the app that you want to focus on, do a search and it'll pull up all the content with those keywords and you can filter it out. So if you go to the search function, you can filter and do a search for back and then filter out anything in masterclass section for back or yoga for back. So you can use the filter feature and actually isolate where you're trying to search. Obviously, you're not going to look for back recipes, but you can search accordingly and use the filter feature. All right, question from Instagram. So we'll take questions from Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok, live questions if we have them. Let's take one from Instagram. This one is from Inquisitor Eisenhorn. Papa Swole, do you have any tips for a gym beginner who is highly self-conscious about his body? Yeah, you got to push through. If there's something you're self-conscious about, it's only in your head. No one else cares. And other people's opinion doesn't matter. So if you're going to the gym, maybe you're not wearing short shorts and a tank top. You can just wear, maybe if you want to cover up your body a little bit, it doesn't matter. Wear something comfortable, put a hat on, put some music on, and get to work. Focus on your stuff. So if you're a beginner, one of the reasons why people get self-conscious in the gym is because they think that everyone's looking at them. It's this constant, like, egocentric approach that a lot of humans have. Everyone's eyes are on them, when in reality, everyone's just thinking about themselves. So don't worry about that. Ignore, go push through. And if you have something with intent, if you have a program and you have actual direction in the gym, if you go in there and you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what to do, yeah, you're very self-conscious because you're not sure what to do. And you think everyone looks at me and thinks I don't know what I'm doing. You know, whether or not that's the case, if you go in with a plan, with a program, you go and do those things and then you can dip. You could also hire trainers or go with a friend and this, that, and the other. But if you go in with a specific set of things that you're going to do, you actually have direction. You go in and execute and just get better at it. You have to go through those difficult things. There's no way around that. You know, there really is no way around it. What you're doing is you're putting a roadblock in your own way and then avoiding it when all you have to do is just go and do the thing. And you'll realize that it's totally fine. No one cares. Really, no one cares. It's shocking how little anyone cares because no one does. Everyone's focused on themselves. So if you're in the gym, right, and you're like, oh my God, all eyes are on me. Just think, everyone else is at the gym focusing on themselves. They might see you or look at you, but that doesn't mean that they're analyzing like, oh my God, what's that person doing? What's that person doing? A lot of times what they're actually doing or thinking, if you're doing an exercise a certain way, they're like, oh, I wonder what he's doing that. Oh, that looks like good form, or oh, that's a good exercise. I could do that. Or they're thinking about their day or their taxes or their relationship or whatever. So most people are in there pretty much, actually, literally everyone's in there focusing on their own stuff. Getting outside your comfort zone. So if that's a point of resistance, understand that you're setting up your own resistance. You're getting in your own way. Alex Papasolio, is there any structuring you would recommend for upper lower max swole? I'm thinking I'd like to ease up to 4 times a week split, but I need to figure out my mobility and yoga routine. I don't know what you mean with structuring. What's structuring? Upper lower is upper lower. You do the split. You do it. 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 2 off every other day. Upper lower. Get it done. Not sure what you mean by structuring. TRST and Dibs. Papa Soy, is creatine good? Yes.
Matt Damon.
Yes, it is. Geraldine says, I had gym anxiety. Remember, anxiety is just misappropriated stress on something that's not happening. So if you're anxious, a lot of times it's that fear. It's that fear of projection. You're projecting something into the future. You're worrying about something that doesn't exist. That's what anxiety is. You're worrying about something that's not currently happening. It's not a real thing. It's a figment of your imagination. Meditate more, And again, going in with a plan matters. If you're going to the gym and everything's new and you don't know what to do, you need to learn what to do. That's why we have members that join Swole X. You get on one of our programs, you have something that's laid out. Okay, I'm going to do these things. And then you go and you do these things. You can train at home. You can train at a gym. All you have to do is go in with a structured plan, go in and execute, and then you leave. It's that simple. It's that simple. Anxiety is your choice, right? And I'm not saying it's easy, but anxiety is literally something that you're manifesting in your own head. And most people don't do any personal development. They don't get out of their own head. They don't deal with the stuff inside their own head. And they just ball it all up and just drive themselves absolutely insane. Abby, any good book recommendations you have read lately? Fiction or nonfiction? Book recommendations? There's a lot of stuff on the book list, on the Amazon list, if you're interested in going and checking that out. It's in the app. You go to the Amazon list. I've read it before. I'm reading Creature from Jekyll Island again, but that's a financial book. So that's unfortunately nonfiction. It's every time you read it, it's just more ridiculous. So I haven't read it in a while, so I'm kind of going through it again. I like rereading books. It's very important to read books multiple times because you'll get different things out of them. You're a different person when you read them again. Atomic Habits is a great book if you're talking about if you want something that's going to be very, very structural in terms of your life, I would say War of Art by Stephen Pressfield and Atomic Habits are great places to start. I'm not reading them now, but The War of Art is a great book to read every few months or once or twice a year, at least once a year. It's a great book to read. And that's a great book to read if you're getting in your own way, because that's what it's all about. It's about getting out of your own way. Oh, and also another one that I'm reading. I read a few books at the same time. I'm reading, it's by Stephen Pressfield also, Gates of Fire. And that's really good. I'm kind of like at the beginning, first third of it. That's a good book too. Matthew Ruder, Papa Swole. How do I build up discipline? By doing the things that need to be done and not making excuses for it. That's what discipline is. Discipline is doing what you need to do and setting yourself up for success, and it has nothing to do with motivation. You do the things you need to do because it's time to do them, and you overcome that resistance and you execute. That's what discipline is. Walt G80. Papa Swole, my legs hurt every time I do legs.
Matt Damon.
I need a sip of coffee. Jesus Christ. Chawl624, Papa Swole, is it okay to do 2 sets per exercise if only doing 1 set? Okay, is it okay to do, let me bring this up on the screen first, actually, and then I'll read it slowly. I get tongue-tied if I go too fast sometimes. I'm looking at so many different comments. Chawl624, Papa Swole, is it okay to do 2 sets per exercise if only doing 1 exercise per body part every other day on the full body? So you're doing full body, 2 sets per exercise if only doing 1 exercise per body part. That's going to be a lot of sets. It depends on your exercise selection. And it also depends on if you're training those body parts every other day. So for most body parts, if you're training every other day full body, 1 set is going to be more than enough. You're not going to recover enough with 2 sets. Maybe in the short term, you might be able to float it, but you're going to burn out. So doing 2 sets of chest on Monday and then 2 sets of chest on Wednesday and then 2 sets of chest on Friday, it's too much, right? So it really depends on the body part. You might be able to do, let's say, 2 sets of calves every other day. You might be able to do certain body parts. And remember, just to clarify, just because you're training every other day doesn't mean every single body part has to be trained every other day, and doesn't mean every single exercise should be done every other day. So training every other day is fine, but not every exercise and not every body part can handle that. So you have to understand that. Just because you're training every other day full body doesn't mean you do adductor and quads and hamstrings and glutes and spinal erectors and posterior deltoid and middle deltoid and anterior. You don't do everything individual. You don't isolate a lot of things. So for example, if you're doing T-bar rows or elbows flared upper back row, you don't necessarily need to do another set for posterior deltoid because you're already hitting them with that kind of a compound movement. If you need to bring up your posterior deltoid, maybe on Monday you're doing T-bar rows and then on Wednesday you do posterior deltoid. So if you're trying to prioritize something, remember, it comes down to what you're trying to prioritize. Whether it's upper, lower, or full body or push-pull legs, you have to figure out what body parts you're trying to prioritize. If it's everything, then spread it out. Do upper, lower, or full body every other day, and just make sure you're not getting redundancy, because not everything should be trained or can be trained every other day. Sometimes it's every other workout. So 2 sets for an exercise, in many cases, in most cases, actually, if you're training intensely enough, you're not going to recover enough in 48 hours with 2 sets. And remember, you don't want to be sore. This is the problem with, and I'm not saying you are doing this, but that's the problem with trying to chase soreness and feeling like you trained it, because if you're actually sore all the time, you're not really adapting properly. If you're keeping your training consistently and you're executing regularly and you're choosing your exercise selection properly, you're not going to be crazy sore after your training. You might feel it that same day if you're training intensely with 1 set, but you're going to recover that next day or before your next workout. So the goal is not to feel like you trained it necessarily. If you're doing a new exercise or you're really pushed hard or close to failure, you might feel it in the short term later that day or the next day, but you don't want to beat yourself up. The goal is not to beat yourself up. The goal is to stimulate. That way you can recover fast and then stimulate again. So the difference is if you're training and doing a bro split and you're creating a stimulus once a week, you're better doing upper lower and training everything twice a week, or full body every other day and doing 3 times a week, because you're getting 2 or 3 times the amount of stimulus as often. So instead of doing 3 sets once a week, you're better off doing 2 sets twice a week or 1 set 3 times a week. It's just harder to program full body, and it's not for everyone because it takes longer. You're going to have to set up more exercises. And when you do full body, you have to schedule and you have to plan very well. So I go back and forth with full body and upper lower because it's just hard to program. And by default, in general, I like doing full body, but I also like today, I'm considering doing full body again, but I like just focusing. Hey, today I'm just focusing on legs. It's not that I'm doing a lot more volume if I'm only doing upper lower. It's that psychologically I can prepare for my leg day and just focus on that area. I don't have to be like, okay, and keep a certain pace because I don't want to train for 2 hours necessarily. So running and doing from different things, upper, lower, and trying to get, it's just a lot more intensive in terms of programming, and it can be exhaustive, and it's hard sometimes to not be tired at the end of the workout. Because if you're doing 10 or 11 sets, 1 set each, it's hard sometimes if you're doing, let's say, a pendulum squat or a hack squat or something. It's very exhaustive, so you have to understand the exercise selection a lot. So when I'm doing full body, I really try to err towards doing leg extensions and leg curls rather than doing heavy hinges all the time and heavy hack squats, because it's very exhausting and it takes away from exercises afterwards, especially if I'm doing full body. But if I'm doing lower body, I can do a little bit more volume. If I'm doing twice a week and I'm doing every other day, I could do a little bit more volume. So I have a little bit more flexibility. It might be around the same time for the workout, but I could do 2 sets for a body part. I could do maybe a little bit more intensive, psychologically intensive exercise like a leg press or a pendulum squat or something like that, if I'm only focusing on lower body, rather than if I know that I'm also going to be doing like a chest press, or if I'm going to be doing arms. It's just a little bit more to program. So it's a great split. Full body is fantastic. I highly recommend it. And that's why I give myself the leeway to switch. And I don't switch my split all the time, but even if I do adjust my split, I'm not really adjusting much because I'm keeping the same exercises. I'm just kind of changing the volume and maybe the style in which I do it. Because remember, even in a given workout, if I'm doing 11 exercises, 1 set each, it might take a little bit more time to prepare for that set and to execute that overall. But also, as you get towards the end of the workout, the stimulus goes down just because you're more fatigued by the time you get to the end of the workout. So full body is great. You just have to program it well, and you have to really choose your exercise accordingly. Anna on YouTube, Papa Swole, what do you think about a punching bag as cardio / warm up before lifting? Is it better to hit on the days where I don't lift? It's fatigue. So I would not do something like that as a warm up personally. As long as you're not exhausting yourself, you're going to have to see if you're progressively overloading and you're recovering and it works well for you, that's fine. But you have to be mindful of the exhaustion before you lift. So before I lift, I'm not doing any type of I'm preparing, but I'm not exhausting myself. So if you're sweating and dripping, I'm not doing VersaClimber, doing anything like crazy. It's hot as shit outside right now. So I'll do a little club swinging and then I'll get into my upper body workout, or I'll do maybe some knee rate, like some monkey foot curls or hip flexor, or like a set of reverse sled, and then get into my leg warm-ups, my focus set, just because I'm sweating right away when I go outside and I'm trying to conserve as much energy as possible for my intense sets. You have to be really mindful of that fatigue. You could do it afterwards or on an off day. Just keep in mind if it's negatively affecting your training, and you'll know that. You'll know if your numbers aren't going up, like if you're doing all this other cardio stuff and punching or whatever it is, and your numbers aren't going up and your strength is kind of plateauing, it could be the extra fatigue from that. You just have to adjust. I wouldn't do any kind of, people that do 30 minutes of cardio before lifting is idiotic. It's idiotic. So you have to, what's your goal? And then keep in mind, someone was asking about swimming the other day. And there's nothing wrong with swimming, but what's your goal? If you're trying to build muscle and get stronger and you're doing tons of swimming, you're going to be draining yourself and it's going to take away from your lifting. And if you see that, then you have to pull back and make adjustments. It's like anything else. It's not helping you recover. For example, swimming is not helping you recover from lifting. It's fatigue. So there's other benefits for it, but it's not helping you recover. Time and allowing the muscles to repair and the mind to repair, but it's extra energy, it's extra fatigue that is going to potentially hinder your ability to recover for the next training session. So just keep in mind and moderate it accordingly. The Gumby shirt is awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Buy one, get one 50% off. Link in bio, papaswole.com. Charles says, thanks for answering. I'm currently doing one set, but was thinking I could do two sets per instead, so I'll stay at one. Look, if you're doing 10 different exercises, one set each, and you go to two, that's not, okay, so objectively, it's like, oh, two's not much more than one. It is. It's literally double. So if you go to do one set per exercise, you're literally doubling the volume. That's 100% more volume. So you're doing 2x the volume. It's not just a number, oh, two is more than one. It sounds like it's not much more, but it's literally double. So it's a kind of thing that maybe in the week, oh, wow, I felt great, but then you're going to be exhausted. It'll catch up to you. So again, if you choose a certain body part and you want to do two sets of that on Monday, maybe you don't train that again until Friday. So you can try doing more volume on one day for one body part, but you might not want to hit it again in 48 hours. You might want to wait 96 and wait till Friday. All right, A. Sanchez, 89. Papa Solia, pre-workout, any recommendations? I don't have recommendations for that. There's a lot of things people like take pre-workout, coffee, honey. You can mix creatine and glutamine and electrolytes. You could do citrulline malate. You could do agmatine and different things. I recommend mixing your own stuff so you're not taking a lot of artificial stimulants and sweeteners and flavorings and things like that. So pre-workout is just whatever you take before you train. But there are a lot of good things for vasodilation, and electrolytes and stuff are very important. Proper hydration all the time is very important. Anna says, my goal is to build strength, not to bulk necessarily, but to be stronger, especially on upper body. Well, that means building muscle. So bulking and building muscle, it's not bulking doesn't mean you want to build muscle. So just get off the concept of bulking. People say I'm bulking and they just put on a lot of fat and water. So putting on weight is what I consider bulking. People use bulking as an excuse to just eat a ton of food and to gain weight. They pay attention to the scale. Most people don't pay attention to the proper metrics. You don't want to bulk, you want to build muscle. So when you focus on building muscle, getting stronger, adding reps, or both, that's going to be the determining factor. That's how you determine if you're building muscle. Matahahari. Papa Swole, ever have a, quote, slump day? And if so, how do you deal with it? Also, you bloody rule. Why, thank ya. Thank ya very much. Appreciate you.
Hi, puppy.
A slump day? Sure. Sure. I don't feel awesome all the time or feel like training. However, you determine whether or not you're on track. Because sometimes I'd be like, I don't feel that strong, or I don't feel like training. But I go and I do it and my numbers are great. So just because you don't feel like training doesn't mean that you're not adapted and able to progressively overload. Maybe your sleep was a little bit off. Maybe it's raining and you feel a little glum. Maybe you need a little more electrolytes. Maybe you just need a little bit of honey. Maybe you, whatever it is. So I don't consider anything about how I feel unless I only look at the objective. I only look at what my numbers are saying. If my numbers are flatlining and I'm not getting stronger, that's a slump. That's fatigue. That's programming. That's exercise selection, right? That's the volume or the intensity. So if my numbers aren't going up, I have to analyze it and then make some adjustments, pull back, add a recovery day. Maybe instead of full body, I go back to upper lower, add a recovery day, whatever it is. So it doesn't really matter if you feel a certain way, because sometimes you feel like, kind of bleh, and you go to the gym and your strength is there and you're able to get, and you're seeing your numbers going up and you're doing good. So it's just in your head, and then you feel great because you see the numbers going up and you're had a great workout and you feel better because you lifted this, that, and the other. So Alex, I'm thinking I'll go upper rest, lower rest, upper, lower rest, whatever. I'm thinking how I want to distribute yoga classes, whether I do it daily or just on rest days. Figure it out. Just do yin yoga. If you're not sure about yoga and you feel like you don't want to do, because if you're doing a lot of strength training, doing vinyasa flows and stuff can be exhausting. Just do yin yoga instead. Do a recovery flow. Do something that's not really intensive on the training days or on off days. And then if you want to, you can always do a vinyasa class or something. So that's for you to figure out. And the upper rest, lower rest, upper, lower rest, like that doesn't matter. So it's really what you feel like doing. Just adjust your volume and stuff accordingly. All right. Questions, drop in the comments down below. We'll take a few more. Hazardous Ducky, Papa Swolio. Does doing laps in a pool, the climbing, then climbing, maybe that's a typo, then climbing a few roots on a rock wall count as a good workout? Going in the pool and then climbing a rock wall, does that count as a good workout? It counts as physical activity. Do you like swimming? Do you like climbing a rock wall? Okay, if you want to get better at swimming and climbing a rock wall, then that's what you should be doing. So does it count as a good workout? I have no idea. Not if you're trying to build muscle. Again, you can do things in your life for enjoyment. You can do things because you enjoy them. How many of you love swimming? Cool. That's great. You can go swimming. I'm not telling you if you love running more than anything, I'm not telling you to not run. But if you're trying to build muscle, you need to do things that build muscle. A lot of people want to do swimming and climbing and then cycling and all this stuff, but then they want to be muscular and lean. And it's like, well, you have to pick the right adaptation. If you're doing things that are not going to build you muscle, then you're not going to build muscle. You might have fun. What are you trying to do? Is it a good workout? It's physical activity. It's better than sitting on the couch watching Netflix. All right, last chance for questions. Drop in the comments. I'm telling you, a lot of people are chronically exhausted because they're not sleeping, they're not eating properly, this, that, and the other. Plus, they're going to the gym and overtraining. So if you give yourself more recovery in your programming and you err on the side of recovery, your brain, like you're going to feel better. If you give yourself more recovery and you don't destroy yourself and you're focusing on maximizing the stimulus but minimizing fatigue, you're focusing on maximizing recovery in your programming, you're going to feel better all the time. You're just going to feel better. You're going to have more energy overall. See, I like doing full body every other day, but I feel better doing upper lower. Maybe just in the short term, like I go back and forth. And you have to understand those warning signs of, hey, I need to pull back a little bit and segment my training a little bit more. So you kind of figure out what you like and what you prefer, because if you're consistent with upper lower and you're like, I love upper lower, I feel great, I feel like I'm recovering, I'm making progress, cool, stick to that. It's that simple. If you feel like something's wearing down on you, adjust it. That's it. So you're better off if you're trying to do full body and you're burning out all the time and you're not doing it properly and you're trying to force it just because some influencer or something online told you to or said, oh, I do this, and you're trying to do that, you're not going to be consistent. You're going to fall off. If you're very consistent and you're doing upper lower all the time and you love it and you stay on it long, you're going to make more progress. You're going to make progress because you're sticking to it. So if you hate full body but you love upper lower, then do upper lower because you're going to be more consistent with it. You're not going to notice, like, the differences are marginal. Maybe if you're more advanced, you can kind of eke out a little bit more gains, but it's really important what you like and what you adhere to. It's not about enjoyment in the sense of like, ooh, I'm going to go have a party, but you want to do something that you're going to look forward to doing and that you're going to be consistent with. And if you prefer a certain training split and you're consistent with it, you can still make adjustments within that split, but you're going to make more progress because you're going to be executing it regularly. If you don't look forward to the split that you're doing, then you're not going to be consistent with it in the same way. Are you going to sell me ayahuasca? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's all I do is I sell ayahuasca on the podcast. Been selling it for 9 years. FNF, Papa Soy, I'm 22, but my lifts never go up. Can't understand why I can never get stronger. It's probably your programming. You're doing too much volume, or your exercise selection sucks, or your form sucks, or your nutrition sucks, or your sleep sucks. So what's your training split? What's your volume? A lot of people don't see results and they think that more is the answer when it's the opposite. Dan, can I drink alcohol and still see results? Maybe in the short term, but alcohol is a poison. It's not helping you at all. At all. You do upper lower. What's your split? What's your volume? What you doing? And sometimes people just need to change up an exercise. Could be genetics. No, it's just your training. TG, I'm in the gym 6 days a week, still a little chubby, but strong as fuck. Anything you recommend? Get your gym 6 days a week. You're not recovering enough, and it's probably your nutrition. If you're still chubby and it's the food that you're eating, it's sleep quality, and training 6 days a week is too much. You're not recovering enough. Mark, what's your biggest advice to someone who's trying to make a lifestyle change? Don't make excuses. Make positive changes, small ones. Make sure you get your community, your circle. Get rid of the people that are not facilitating your progress. And do the things. Execute on the plan. That's why it's great to look at the numbers. That's why if you're tracking your workouts, whether or not you feel like training is irrelevant to are the numbers increasing. If you look at your charts and you see the numbers increasing, objectively you're making progress. You really have to focus on the objective reality. So too many people, especially nowadays, are all up in their feelings. It's how I feel. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing this. No one fucking cares. No one cares. Life doesn't care. No one cares. What's the objective reality? So we're talking about the cardio, punching bags, swimming, whatever. You can go for a walk. Maybe you love riding your bike. You go and you're in the sunshine. You love riding your bike. I'm not telling you to not ride a bike. Walking is better. It's just great. But riding a bike, there's nothing wrong with it. But you have to isolate the things that, okay, what am I trying to accomplish? What do I enjoy doing? What are some casual activities I enjoy? Maybe you love mountain biking. You have a passion for mountain biking. You can understand why mountain biking might conflict with putting on a lot of muscle mass, but it doesn't mean you can't mountain bike and build muscle. You just have to be mindful of the fatigue that's incurred with mountain biking. It's a different adaptation. Dust off, Bravo 4, Papa Soy, any recommendations for correcting strength difference between arms? Do unilateral training and train the weaker arm first, and then do your second set with the stronger arm with no rest and match the reps of the weaker arm. So are you talking about curls and triceps, for example? Do unilateral exercises. That was nice.
I give it a 10.
Ripped it.
10. A fucking 10.
Dan Dirt, is it worth to hit the gym if you're not in the mood? I literally just went over that. I literally just explained. Your mood is your feelings. Would it ruin my workout? Maybe. But again, objectively, if you go in with a plan, so if I take out my book and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this weight and I'm going to try to get another rep, or I'm going to do another pound and try to get the same reps. If you're able to do that, if you're able to progressively overload, that means that you are adapting. Progressive overload is an adaptation. It's your body adapting to your previous stimulus, allowing you to progressively overload the next session. And if you're not regularly progressively overloading, either every other session or every week, then you need to go back to the drawing board. So again, if you're chronically exhausted, if you're not getting good sleep, if you're not eating properly, if your training is off, if your programming is off, it's always a learning experience. You're tweaking, you're adjusting, you're manipulating things here and there. You don't want to make too many massive changes, but most people do a lot of quantity, but their quality sucks. So it's about the quality. It's not about the quantity. There's nothing about like, I need to do 15 sets per week for a body part for growth. That's nonsense. It's not true. You need to get stronger. If you want to build muscle, you need to be getting stronger. You're not building muscle if you're not getting stronger. Now, strength adaptations can happen for neuromuscular adaptations, right? Like it's riding a bike, coordination. If you're new to an exercise, your strength is going to go up maybe in the first few sessions that you do that exercise because your body is getting used to the movement, it's getting used to the angle, it's getting used to the coordination. But then you'll start to build muscle and strength, actual strength, and lay more contractile proteins. So if you're new to the gym, you'll make more strength gains. And of course, you also have newbie gains just from your body reacting to the stretch mediated hypertrophy when you're brand new to the gym. But after a while, you just need to be adding weight and reps over time. You don't need a lot of variety. You don't need volume. You need frequency and you need stimulus. You need to be adding weight. And if you're just going to the gym and you're not tracking, then you have no idea what you're doing and you have no idea if you're getting stronger or not. You're just doing things that are hard, leaving the gym exhausted, and that's why you're not seeing progress. And a lot of times you might not feel like you're seeing progress, but then you look back, and how many of you track your workouts? You look back a couple months, you're like, wow, I'm doing 10 pounds more on the bench. I'm doing 10 pounds more on curls, X, Y, and Z. So you might not feel, I feel like nothing's going my way. Look back a little bit. Yeah, I'm making progress. Stay the course. Keep going. You get out of your own head. Being analytical and quantitative with your progress will allow you to get out of your own head and get out of your feelings. Hashtag never skip leg day for a chance to win today's Swole. Never skip leg day. Hashtag never skip leg day. And then we have Mr. Mustard sleeping off camera as always. Okay. Liliana, Papa Soy, is it okay if you're not always sore? Yes. You're not supposed to be always sore. You might be fatigued or feel a little soreness that same day or the next day, but soreness is a proxy for, if you did a chest workout, yeah, it's normal to feel a little bit fatigued or a little bit sore, but it's not a requirement for growth. If you're doing the same movement in the same way, in the same order all the time, that initial soreness from when you first did it, it's going to go away because it's not a novel movement. If you do a couple extra reps or you get a little bit stronger, it's still a novel stress. So you might feel it a little bit, but it'll go away quickly. Swole cards went out. We send them out in batches. So it might take a few weeks or a couple months sometimes, but we've been sending them out more frequently. So we just did a huge batch of Swole cards. So if you're waiting on one for the last month or two, they're going out. They go out in bunches, but they're going to go out more frequently moving on. Yeah, the problem with soreness is that people always chase soreness. And that's why most people don't get results. It's because they're always chasing that feeling in the short term of being sore. So how do you get sore? How do you get sore? By doing the same exercise. You do more sets, you do more volume, you do more random shit every workout to get sore. And that's just creating a novel stimulus all the time and unnecessary damage. It's not hypertrophy. So if you're always chasing soreness, you're speed running fatigue. And that's the problem. If you're going based on soreness, that's your metric, that's your feedback. But if you go based on your books, if you go based on your log, you can objectively see if you're making progress. If your weight goes from 100 pounds to 101 to 102.5 to 105, you're adapting, you're progressively overloading. Keep going. When things stop working after a while, maybe swap out an exercise, maybe leave a rep in the tank, maybe do a little bit more recovery, maybe change the exercise after a couple of weeks. Then you reassess. If you're always chasing soreness, the only way to get sore is to do novel exercises all the time, random, like CrossFit type shit, random stuff just to be fatigued. And you're always doing more volume to chase that soreness. And then you just get injured or you just flatline. Liliana says, my log is showing progress with the amount of weight week over week going up. Keep going. That's good stuff. How long have you been doing it for? Are you new to the gym or just kind of new to this kind of programming? Keep going. Keep going. Focus on that. You want the weight and you want the form to stay the same. So you want the weight to go up or the reps or both. So 100 pounds for 5 reps, then you're doing 100 pounds for 8 reps. That's great. You're doing 100 pounds for 8 reps, and then you get 105 for 8 reps. And then you can do 110 for 8 reps, and you do 110 for 9 reps. And then you add more weight, 120 for 6 reps. That's not progressive overload, but then the next time you get that 120 for 7 reps. There you go. 3 weeks, it's been years, but my form is on peak according to the OG gym bros. Good. So understand that your strength is going to go up in the first few weeks just because of neural adaptation. So it's not necessarily muscle yet, but that's part of the progress. So that's part of the process. So when you're new to the gym in the first few weeks, you're going to see those numbers jump up more rapidly. Don't be dismayed if they start to peter out, because they're going to. You're just not going to get stronger infinitely. Just make sure that you are mindful of that. And then you start scratching and clawing for a rep here and there, for a pound. It's a slow progress after a while, but that's normal in the first few weeks. It's still a good sign. You're supposed to have that. Alan, I started, I believe, at 15 pounds. This was after I took a hiatus because of my living situation took a turn, but now I've been consistent and I'm lifting 25 pounds. I've been logging every workout since. Good stuff. Logging your workouts will help you get out of your head. If you're always going to the gym, just doing random stuff, you're going based on how you feel in that day, in that moment. And that's not accurate. Just because you're feeling a little bit like you're dragging ass doesn't mean you don't have performance. Doesn't mean you're not going to train hard. Doesn't mean you're not going to doesn't mean you didn't progress. Doesn't mean you're not going to progressively overload. Doesn't mean you didn't make adaptations. And a lot of you know that. You go to the gym, you're like, oh, I got to get to the gym. You feel a little bit stiff, or like your head feels a little bit foggy. Maybe it's electrolytes. Maybe it's rain's coming in, so the pressure drops, so your head kind of feels a little bit thick, or you have a newborn baby and it was crying and you kind of didn't get great sleep. Doesn't mean that you didn't make adaptations and you're not going to have a great workout. A lot of people go to the gym, oh, I feel like I'm dragging a little bit. You go and you have an awesome workout. Oh, I'm so glad I went. I fucking crushed it. And then you feel great. So objectively, you recovered, and you look at your charts and it's great. And if you stop seeing progress, then you reassess. And as you get more advanced, you're able, and this is what I'm always talking about. The more advanced, I've been training for 25 years, so I can see these things coming like a mile away. I can see, okay, I know when there's an edge of like fatigue when I need to back off. So you don't go to full burnout and then take 2 weeks off. I'm able to okay, let me just add another day of recovery here. You kind of see the signs of I'm a little bit more sore. I feel like this is wearing me down a little bit. So you make those pivots before it becomes a problem. And that's all it is. You make these little subtle adjustments before it becomes an overwhelming issue, and you start to learn how your body is. And as you get older, things change and your priorities have to change. And your exercise selection can change. So if you're constantly exhausted because you're doing squats all the time, move on to hack squat, do some leg extensions. It doesn't always have to be these heavy, overloading, crushing compound movements. That's much more exhausting than single joint exercises. or isolation, for example. James, what do you think about rotating the wrist and dumbbell curls? I usually do straight or hammer. Supination is important. You want to train supination, but you also want to train pronation. So a lot of people never train pronation. So you can get a strap, you can use wrist wraps or things. You can look it up online. There's ways to wrap it on your wrist. You can get the thumb hooks or the handles, and you work your pronators also. So you want to balance it out. A lot of people get elbow pain because they're always just doing supination, supination, supination. They never work the pronator. So they start getting elbow pain and stuff like that. So if you do straight arm curls or reverse curls, I do cuffed single arm reverse curls, one set every other day for the brachioradialis. If you want bigger forearms, the brachioradialis muscle right up here, it's a huge muscle. So people think of it as a small muscle. It's usually small because people don't train it. But if you want bigger forearms, you need to train the brachioradialis. You could do that with reverse curls or hammer curls. So that's a good way to target that area. And if you're trying to work the biceps more, make sure that you're doing like the only bicep exercise I've been doing lately are preacher curls on a machine, preacher curls with a dumbbell, and that's it. It will target the biceps in more of the lengthened position if you're doing free weights. Even with the preacher curl machine, it's great. And I have one of those I have an old school Strive preacher curl where I can load the pegs heavier in the lengthened portion, but you could just do single arm dumbbell preacher curls. And then you could do a hammer curl or reverse curl for the brachioradialis. Ghost Daddy, thoughts on compound versus isolated exercises? Both necessary. Isolations are great, and compound exercises target multiple joints. So I think people do too many pressing movements, and if you do too many pressing movements, you get a lot of redundancy and you can really get tendonitis or blow out your elbows and stuff. So I've been talking about this a lot lately. You don't need to be doing chest press and shoulder press and JM press all the time. You should pick a press movement and then do isolation for the other things. So if I'm doing a chest press, I'll do a lateral raise and I'll do like a cable tricep extension. If I'm doing a JM press, I'll do flies for my chest and I'll do lateral raises. If I'm doing an overhead press, I'll do flies and a tricep extension. So in an upper workout, I'm not doing 2 or 3 pressing movements. I have in the past, and it overworks the same things, and you can start getting like elbow, just fatigue. Hello from South Africa. What's up, South Africa? Are you fleeing? Are you coming to the United States? Stay safe out there. A great way to train the forearms is hammer curls on a preacher curl, or reverse curls on a preacher. That's a great way to hit the brachioradialis. So if you've never tried that, if you have free weights, try, and you're trying to hit more of the elbow flexors like the brachioradialis or brachialis, try doing hammer curls on a preacher. You could also do hammer curls. Sometimes preacher curl machines have more neutral handles, so you can actually do it on a machine if you have that. It depends. Aren't you that go to the gym guy? I am. I am the go to the gym guy. So it's so funny. I always see these posts and things like on TikTok or Instagram, like the top fitness influencers. Like, cool. I don't want to be listed as I'm not an influencer. But it's always like, the top gym stuff. And it has like all the people that do like technical science stuff in the gym. I'm never listed on those. So it's cool. I'm like underground. I get people to the fucking gym. My goal is to get everyone into the fucking gym. Just get you there. I'm trying to get you there. I'm trying to get you there. Go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym. Most people don't even go to the fucking gym. So that's step number 1. I'm trying to get you in the goddamn building. Get you in the building. Shout out to the Netherlands. What up? Gym is the world. The world is your gym. I agree. Last chance for questions. Drop in the comments. We're live on Rumble and YouTube, The Daily Swole. If you're watching on TikTok, maybe you don't know, this is a podcast, episode 3296 every day since May of 2016. So you can listen to all the previous episodes. We do a lot of questions. We do a lot of stuff every single episode. So make sure you check out the podcast streams on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Dustoff says, pick up heavy circles, put down heavy circles. It's not rocket science. Yeah, that's the basics, that's for sure. Mitchell, what's a quick way to get your cardio better? Get yourself a lady. Give your hand a break. You'll get tendonitis. If you want the most, all right, if you're trying to do cardio, okay, the most efficient cardio, if you want to do like intense cardio, get yourself a VersaClimber. My VersaClimber is collecting dust because it's such a savage, fucking evil piece of equipment. But a VersaClimber will humble anyone. Anyone. VersaClimbers are the devil. The devil. If you know what a VersaClimber is, like the fuck. Thing sucks. It's awesome, but it sucks. You do 5 minutes of that, there's your cardio. VersaClimber's devil. The devil. People ask, like, oh, I wonder what hell is like. It's probably just literally a sauna with VersaClimbers. You know, burning in a pit of fire for eternity. It's just a sauna with There's VersaClimbers everywhere. You go to hell, it's just VersaClimbers. Like, no. That's my version of hell. No gym equipment, just VersaClimber. Fuck my life. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said those things on the internet. Does Papa like goats? Not as much as they do in the Middle East. Oh, too soon? Don't fuck goats. That's just good advice.
The little rascal has spirit.
Actual goats are cool though. They're cool as shit. I love their eyes. I'd love to have like a couple goats, but they probably eat the gym equipment because they eat everything. They would eat the pads off the equipment, no doubt. But I love the little baby goats. I would love to have a little baby goat like running around the yard. That'd be awesome. Paul says, I use my VersaClimber at least once a week and it's one hell of a cardio workout. Yeah, you have to use it so sparingly. I remember when I first got it, I was like, oh, I'll start my day with a VersaClimber. I'm just going to do 1,000 vertical feet every day. And you do that. I was burnt out after like the first week and I didn't use it for a while. So you have to go really slow, like do like 5-10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, like really just like 5 minutes. You really have to go. It depends on how hard you're going because you can get on it, warm up, and then just do like 20-30 seconds all out and then hop off, walk around, do 30 seconds, do like 3 or 4 rounds of that, 5 rounds. That's all you need. It's like 2 minutes of all out work overall, just 30 minutes work, 30 seconds, 20-30 seconds work, 2-3 minutes rest, get back on there, do another sprint. Wipe out. It's so hard to find the right settings too. It's like, do you go too light? Do you go heavier? It's just, no matter what you do, it's just exhausting. How long do you use the VersaClimber? What do you do? Like slow intensity, or do you like sprint and then do intervals or what? My quads are just like pumped to the brim. I can't really find a good place for it in my programming because it's so exhausting. Okay. Mr. Mayhem is 485 pounds heavy for someone that weighs 190, obviously. Heavy in what respect? For deadlifts, for squats, for bench? Yeah, it's like 2.5 times your body weight. Paul says I do sprint intervals. Yeah. Because doing slow duration is like, it's almost like more exhausting to go slow. So I'll warm up a little bit and then I'll go like fast. You go all out for like 20 seconds. And then I would actually literally get off, walk around a little bit, have a timer for like 2-3 minutes, get on, go all out for 20 seconds, get off, and do like 3 to 5 rounds. But I don't know. I haven't gotten to the point where I've integrated that back into my programming at all. Do I use an inversion table? I don't. But I do a lot of great exercise. I do dead hangs and reverse hyperextensions. Get yourself a reverse hyperextension. That's fantastic. You can makeshift one out of a bench and a band and stuff like that. But reverse hyperextensions, like you want decompression, Nordic curls, reverse hyperextensions, dead hangs, Jefferson curls, sissy squats, just mobilizing your hips, your knees, your back. That's your inversion, strengthening all the aspects. Lateral bends, lateral flexion. Okay, we're about wrapped up. Thank you for being here. So if more questions come through, you could drop them in the comments. If you're on TikTok, click the link in my bio. Buy one, get one 50% off all merch. We have new products dropping in the next week or so. Hair and skin products. We got Scalp Seed, Papa Swole's Bull Cream, 100% grass-fed tallow, body cream. We also have Mane Gains, which is great for the strength of your hair and the roots also, and the ends, the mids and the ends. So very awesome new stuff that's dropping imminently. And of course, on papaswolio.com, you have all the other links for the podcast. If you want to come on over to Rumble and YouTube, you can find the links over there on papaswolio.com. Thanks for being here. TikTok, appreciate the questions. Good stuff today. Podcast time. Let's go, BD. Let's go, BD. Let's go, BD.
That's deep.
Again, if you want to get on the email list, it's free. You don't have to be a member. I recommend you do join the Swole fam, because why would you be a Matt Damon? Go to swoleagain.com. That's make email swoleagain.com. And you can get on the email list, and it's free. Let's do a video. Ooh, we got good one. We do have a South African video. We have some videos today. We have Wake Up and Decide to Be Fat Phobic. We have South Africans. What a title for a video. South Africans. And we have Everyone is Racist. Whew. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. Where are we going to go? Where do we go first, fam? Where do we go? You tell me. Where do we go? Where do we go? 1, 2, or 3? Positive Charisma says number 2, which means we're going right to South Africa. Oh, boy.
What's in the box?
Oh, boy. Here we go. South Africans. Okay, here we go.
All you YT South Afrikaners that are being shipped in by Trump, you need to know the majority of Americans don't want you here. You just jump back on another plane and fly your little racist YT supremacist butts right on back.
All right, this person is absolutely a cave troll and retarded. There was like 50 or 60 people that came because they're being literally like slaughtered in South Africa. So if you haven't been paying attention, there is like a white genocide going on in South Africa. Legit. They're calling to kill all the Boers, all the white farmers in South Africa. And they've been there for like 15 generations. So yeah, they're wiping people out, and it's like 60 people. So I don't know. These people are fucking losing their mind over like 60 people. However, we have 20 million illegals in the country, and they're totally fine with criminals and rapists and fentanyl flooding across the border. But you have actual, look, when you fill out paperwork, you can immigrate to this country legally. It's called legal. You can seek asylum through actual paperwork and come into the country. Isn't that interesting? Do you guys know that? You can actually come to the United States legally. I know it's shocking to these libtards, but you can actually come to the United States legally. Yeah, you can do it. You just have to not be a criminal. Ah, I get it. Nice. Nice. So who's the racist again? They're only picking on these few people because they happen to be white. They don't understand. There's still a lot of like Indians and other people coming to, like, immigration hasn't stopped. People are still coming into this country and getting visas and seeking asylum, but you have to come through the proper channels. You can't just fucking streak across the border. You can't just run into the country and hide. Like, these people are mentally insane. Let's continue.
Back to your country. Go back to Africa.
Go back to Africa. Ooh, all right. There, you hear that? Go back to Africa. Imagine if she was calling for all the black people to go back to Africa. Oof. That one's going to age like milk, huh?
We do not want your racist butts here.
I don't think you understand what
You
that
keep
word
using
means.
that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You are not welcome in the United States, and Trump is not going to be in charge forever. Yeah, you're not welcome here. We don't want any more Snazis in America.
What?
We're done. And we're the majority. MAGA wants you to believe they're the majority, but they are not. Just saying. Fly your asses to another country where they want racists like you. Because you're not welcome here.
The eyes, Chico. They never lie.
Trump overwhelmingly won the popular vote and the Electoral College, so I don't know what she's talking about. No one does. No one does, but we do know that you never go full retard.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Except this fucking troll. Nice earbuds. Okay, well, that was as stupid as you could expect it to be. You're not the majority. That's a soundboard. Go back to Africa. Yeah, Trump won the popular vote by like 5-6 million votes. So, there's that. Let's do this one. Let's do everyone is racist. What the hell? What's the difference? Let's do this one.
These systemic racism is embedded in every corner of any institution. And so the only way to solve it is to have everyone doing their part. First, being truthful about the fact that there is racism. But second, actually really looking at themselves inside and asking what parts of me are racist. And
I'm not racist, but I hate you. Has there ever been a more punchable face than this dude?
God damn it, I don't know what it is about your face, but I want to deliver one of these right in your suck hole.
Is there anything I can do to work on that?
No,
I'm curious.
Your face.
I'm curious how often his wife pegs him. Yeah, struggle sessions. Oh, I'll look inside myself. Oh, I must be racist. My internalized. I don't know. It's there. It's there. It's there somewhere. I just can't find it. It's deep inside me. Go fuck yourself, dude.
what steps do I have to take to move beyond that?
Struggle sessions.
Everybody has implicit
love
bias,
communism.
and an institution can only change if everyone takes ownership of and responsibility for changing the place. So I'm trying to address some pretty difficult issues.
You're trying to make an issue. Again, what Marxists do is they try to create issues. They create divisiveness. They create this marginalized intersectional culture. They're trying to erode the foundation under which this country was founded. They're trying to tear the country apart. So when you understand what the outcome is, what the goal is, all this stuff makes sense. They're trying to destroy society. And then, you're trying to create a problem. You're trying to fester and create a problem. We know, and we're not falling for it.
Systemic racism everywhere. There's systemic racism at UBC. And changing an institution, culture change is the hard...
You mean DEI? You mean DEI? DEI is racist. That's why they don't accept white men. That's why they're trying to prioritize. That's why, we got rid of affirmative action, which is the most racist policy that was ever implemented. So, yeah.
This thing that a leader would set out to do, and I'm trying to set out to do that hopefully I'm successful. At least, hopefully I'm successful in setting the stage and hopefully taking early steps in making this really a more diverse and inclusive institution. So hopefully that'll be my legacy.
Legacy of being an absolute faggot. All right, cool. That's your legacy, dude. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Last one. Yay, British Columbia. Yay. Okay. Let's get into this one. Wake up and decide to be fat phobic. One more.
What's in the box?
Not to be messy, but if you wake up and decide to be fat phobic for no reason, I'm just assuming that you saw a fat person living a better life than you. You saw a fat person getting something that you don't have access to. You saw
Twinkies? Wendy's? Taco Bell?
a fat person in a relationship that you don't have. You saw a fat person making more money than you. And the only thing you have to hang your hat on that makes you feel like you're better than that person is the fact that you're a size 6. Also, excuse me, I know I look a mess. I just got back from the gym. Yes, my 200+ pound self that works out 5 days a week just got back.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's why there's 7 pillars. You work out 5 days a week. That's not a flex if you look like that.
Back from the gym. And I just feel like if you wake up out of nowhere and you're just like, fat people this, fat people that, somebody somewhere made you feel jealous, and the only thing you have over them is that you're skinnier than them. And guess what? Nobody gives a fuck.
Mika says she swims and does the rock wall.
Matt Damon.
She swims and does the rock wall. Yeah. Okay. All right. Look, I mean, I'm the first one to say most people at the gym look the same. We know that. How many times you go to the gym and you see the same people and the same equipment on the same machines and they never change? Look, going to the fucking gym is the first part. You went to the fucking gym. You got a gym membership. Cool. You know where the gym is. Oh, you pay monthly. Yeah. Just because it comes out of your bank account doesn't mean you're actually using it properly. Okay, let's do a throwback. That's exactly what you think it is. Let's do this one. We'll start with this. We'll do 2. We'll double up because that's what we've been doing lately, and it's fire.
Life in a larger body and in a smaller body, and people were very kind to me when I was thin.
Yeah, no shit.
And then I gained weight, and the way people treated me was extremely different.
You think?
So thin privilege is a thing. You should educate yourself about it and be a better human being to people who are bigger than you are.
Just shut the fuck up.
Let me tell you a little story about why these people think that it's a thing. If you're fat and you're miserable and you're unhealthy, you're fat for a reason. You're eating garbage foods. You're not taking care of yourself. How many of you used to eat shit? You were an all right upstairs. If you feel like shit and you don't like the way you look, guess what? You're going to project that into the world. You're going to get back what you put in. Based younger Papa Swole. All right.
Crucifixion is good. Out of the door, line on the left, 1 cross each.
Breathe. One more.
What's in the box?
One more. Back to back. Boom. Hit him hard. Jump scare. I'm afraid of fat people. I'm afraid for them. It is a fact that being overweight does cause health problems, especially later. I'm surprised you got cell service over there at base camp. I don't know how you're going to refute that.
Talking about fat phobia, specifically medical discrimination, employment discrimination, and how fat phobia is rooted in systemic racism.
You fat fuck.
Still, they insist this is really about health.
And it probably is.
There are fat people that will never experience health problems based on their weight.
Who? I want some examples.
There are people that will gain weight because of their health problems. And there are plenty of people, especially later in life, that develop health problems that have nothing to do with weight. Because it kind of comes with age.
You have someone that's morbidly obese, and then they get in their 50s and 60s. Oh, well, they're just 50 or 60. They've been fat and unhealthy for 50 or 60 years. And guess what? It's like any kind of investment. It compounds. Yes, we're all going to die, but some people are going to die from diabetes. They're going to have a heart attack. They're going to have cancer. They're going to have a lot of things that they were exposed to throughout their life.
Jake and mate.
Sheesh. All right. You know what's fun? You know what's fun or interesting? And Bumble Hunter says, how many of the fat positive influencers died before they hit 45? We're here every day. So this podcast is not going anywhere. So it's going to be it's going to be unfortunate, but you know, you can't help people that are mentally deranged. Putting out good information, trying to call like it is, just saying the truth. How do you think these people are going to fare over the next 10, 15, 20 years when we're doing this show? We're going to be looking back at some of these videos and hearing about all these people that are just, they're going to stop posting content because they're not going to be able to hide how unhealthy they are. They're just going to be dropping fucking dead. They're going to be decrepit and just blobs. And what probably they're going to do, they're going to start creating like AI characters for themselves to pretend like they look better than they are because they're going to be embarrassed to take a video because they've been pushing this fat positive garbage for a decade and they're like on their deathbed. It's really going to pan out really badly. We know that. A lot of them are already dropping dead anyway. Not to mention all the experimental vaccines and Ozempic that people are pounding. They're not changing their habits. They're just trying to virtue signal and pretend like everyone else in the world is against them when it's just gravity. Gravity is against you. And you're punishing the earth. And the earth is like, get the fuck off me. It hurts. My crust. My crust hurts. Poor earth. Poor earth. It's sad. Goddamn earth. Goddamn earth. All right, let's give away today's Swole card. Thanks for being here. Hashtag never skip leg day. Drop in the comments down below. You already did. Y'all did. Y'all heard? Let's go, Bish. Never skip leg day. You want to be like that black chick who goes to the gym 5 days a week, but everyone else is a meanie head. Like Rana Coleman. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight, baby. Lightweight. Let's see. Today we landed. Oh, look at you. Speaking of which, it is the great Dr. Delta. AA Ron with the victory. All right. TGDD. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 3290 SACE in the subject. Mailing address and the body of the email. Congratulations, Aaron. Congratulations. And we have the Tainty Man that says congratulations. And we do also have the church. She's sleeping over here. And she's looking cute. And she's going to give me her belly, right? Little bellies. Cute girl. The token card. Too soon? All right. Fam, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you. And tomorrow we will have another episode. We will have some throwback DWG. We're going to have some more balls deep edits. So if you're not a member, join now and you get access to all the bonus content. And of course, you'll get access to the master classes and Maximum Swole, 90-Day Dash, Swole Season, Scorched Earth, what did I say? Swole Season, Scorched Earth, Swole Mastery, all the programs and everything inside the Swolenormous app. Let's pull that up for a second in case y'all don't already know. We got everything over there that you need. Boom. Pop it up on the screen. Bam. Whenever we do new releases on Monday, we have all the drops, right? We have the Gym Busters. Oop, the latest merch drop. I didn't mean to click on it, but it's right there. All the drops this past Monday. Yin for deep relaxation. Tropical smoothie. We got recipes. We have the previous week's drops. Pump a Chew over there. More recipes. We got more yoga. They do lift in herds. All the new releases from the last few weeks. We got featured classes. We rotate those every single week. And of course, we have all our other content. You go to the top. You can check out the masterclass section. Go to education. Check out all the latest drops, full body. If you're interested in training full body, right there at the top, full body number 1 and 2. Overview masterclass for those new full body splits inside Maximum Swole. And of course, we have a lot of other masterclasses you can go and check out over there in the app. Join now, swolenormousx.com. And we will see you tomorrow for another amazing episode. Thanks for being here. Peace, McGeese, Deuce, Magoose, ya boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
that's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint you. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. Off topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits.